Welcome to Lakeland, Florida. We are at the 2011 NCPA National Championships. I'm Matty Marshall. I got Chris Lasoya up here, and we're about to watch some paintball action go down here on center court. Chris, this should be a really good game. First game up, Ohio University Bobcats and the Northeastern Huskies. Ohio, very solid franchise. They've been around for a while, and I'm expecting some very aggressive play out of them.
Absolutely. They played real well last time we saw them. They're a great paintball team. They gel real well together. Northern University coming out of the blocks right now. A lot of the players are new this year. But they talk a big game down there. I was talking to them earlier. They say they got some good talent out there, so I'm looking forward to seeing this matchup right now.
I'm definitely looking forward to see. Also, with this field layout, you're looking at Ohio University right there, and with this field layout, I think that both teams they can push both sides of the field aggressively. So I think that because of that, we're going to see some entertaining action go down. And the snake side is not as dominant as you normally see. We look at the breakout. You're looking at Northeastern University. They're breaking out wide. They get into Dorito 1 off the break. Heavy guns up, and they're also able to make it into the snake off the break. Looks like they lose a body. They lose two bodies off the break, Chris.
Ohio's making a big move down the Dorito side. If you do that 50 Dorito, you're wide open to a lot of people over there.
You're looking at Northeastern right now on your screen, and Ohio able to get all the way to the 50-yard line. Dorito, and that guy is just chopping downfield right now, taking out Northeastern on that stand-up tempo, and then here comes Ohio's David Pando. Big move down the snake, all the way on the Northeastern side of the field, takes out the last player. Very quick point by Ohio University.
Like you talked about, Matty, they're very aggressive. They came up real hard, snake in the break, pushed down those Doritos real quickly.
And that's what I expect from Ohio University. I did not expect them to take the game that quick, but, again, you're watching bodies come off that fast, and you're going to expect that's going to happen. I mean, if you're losing bodies that quick, you're going to be able to run down the field.
Absolutely. And the snake on this field, if you're in the snake and you're by yourself, as you talked about earlier, you can go all the way down there in the snake. Now, that wasn't the instance in this case, but, they doubled up in the snake right there. Ohio made a great move down the Doritos, which took the attention from the snake guy looking across the field, which allowed Ohio State guy to come down the field, bunker him, and then get in a better
spot. And you're
spot.
definitely going to see that back and forth action. As soon as a player gets really far up on either side of the field, whether it's the snake side of the field or the Dorito side of the field, it doesn't really matter. Those guns are going to switch. And when those guns switch, that's when those big moves happen. You see David Pano making that big move down the snake.
Right. And on this field, too, and getting into the red zone is not that difficult in this field. Getting up there, that there's so much stuff in the way. And once you get to your initial spots, it's going to be hard to shoot people on the break. The only guy that's going to get clipped in the break, in my opinion, is maybe that guy coming out to the snake.
Yeah, and when I was walking the field yesterday, and I was looking at those important spots, it doesn't really. I mean, you can definitely shoot guys off the break, but I'm expecting maybe. I think that these teams should be doubling up that back center, trying to shoot that snake guy off the break, and then really trying to get penetration on the snake side of the field and on the Dorito side of the field. You can march up that Dorito side of the field.
Absolutely. Once you get outside on this field, like you said, there's a lot of stuff out there. You can just march up the field, but they got to be smart about it. Once you get to the 50 Dorito, you kind of got to stop, reassess, where the bodies are in the field, and kind of let your players catch up with you a little bit.
Looking at Northeastern on your screen right now as they are getting set to go here for point number 2. The score is 1-0 in favor of the Ohio University Bobcats. Northeastern Huskies need to get something going on the aggressive side, but the biggest thing they need to do, it's paintball 101. Stay alive off the break. They lost 2 bodies off the break, and then that enabled Ohio to get down that Dorito side. They got into the 50-yard line, and that was it on that point. Let's watch the breakout here, point number 2. Let's see if Northeastern can try to get 5 bodies alive off the break. And I'll tell you what, Chris, you're looking at that Northeastern player run to the snake one off the break, but he started that point with his head down. That's not something you want to do. You want to keep your eyes up and looking at those incoming paintballs, so if you need to dive out of the way, you can.
Absolutely. Heads up, gun up, all the way, until you can't do it anymore. Getting in the snake, you got to be guns up, and you got to see what's going on around you. So once you get in there, it's going to be trouble if you don't know where people are.
And so it's Nicholas Pacuza, a.k.a. Brooklyn, for Ohio University, getting in all the way past the 50-yard line of the snake. You're looking at David Pando right behind him right there. And Brooklyn able to wrap around, trying to get a shot on Northeastern. Northeastern making a big move, trying to break out on that snake side of the field. Running out of bounds, able to take out Brooklyn. David Pando still alive for Ohio. So 1 body alive for both teams here on the snake side of the field. You're looking at Northeastern on your screen, and now you're looking at that's David Pando for Ohio University Bobcats. He's going to try to get into the snake. There he goes. He's making that move. Dives into snake one. He's immediately going to, I was going to say, he's going to try to post up and get dominance down that side while trying to get a shot cross field right now, and he polishes off Northeastern's player in Dorito 2. So it's just basically been all Ohio University right now.
You know, Ohio making a push down the Doritos again, once again, like we talked about. You know, they shot their guns in the break, got to their spots, and then kind of marched up the field like you talked about on the Doritos side.
So David Pando grabbing that flag. He's going to jog it in. David Pando, the captain of Ohio University, has been on that team for a while now.
You know, as we talked about before, you know, once Brooklyn got inside the snake there, you know, if there's nobody that's, controlling him a little bit, he can just go all the way down the snake.
And the thing is, with this particular field layout, if you get in that snake, the back bunkers really can't control that side. And, you know, in case you're just tuning in, you're watching paintball for the first time, this is a game, it's basically chess with guns. And if you can't dominate your opponent and make them stay inside their bunkers, and you're letting yourself get dominated in a gunfight, well, you really can't do much.
Right.
And that's basic paintball 101. And on this snake side of the field, the back bunkers, you're looking at the snake structure right now on your screen. Now, the back bunkers that are behind those bunkers where the support players go, the back players go, once they get in those back spots on the snake side of the field, they really can't do much. And the guys that are getting in the snake, they have the best angles. You're looking at those back bunkers right there on your screen. Now, the inside bunkers, you can do a lot from there, but the ones right behind it really can't do a lot. And you're not going to see a lot of guys go to that spot. And you see Northeastern, they got to that back spot, but it was really kind of a desperation move.
Absolutely. You know, and as you look at the spots in these fields, you know, one thing that's really good for your viewer-friendly is you look at the top of the bunkers. There's a blue zone, a yellow zone, and a red zone. Obviously, the blue zone is for back players, yellow zone is for the mid-insert players, and the red zone is for the front players that are really aggressive people that get up in the field.
So the score is now 2-0 in favor of the Ohio University Bobcats, putting it on Northeastern Huskies right now. Now, Northeastern, they are just not getting it done, and it's kind of it's one of those situations where when you're not getting guys living off the break and you really can't do much at the beginning of the game, that beginning of the game is so crucial. You're playing 5-on-5. You lose one body, that's 20% of your force right there.
Absolutely.
And they're consistently losing at least one guy off the break, and they need to switch that up if they want to have success here against Ohio University.
Right.
All right, you're looking at Northeastern on your screen right now. Let's see if they can get 5 bodies alive here. It's been troubling them so far in the beginning of this game. 7 minutes and 10 seconds left here in the first half. They're on the breakout, heavy guns up, trying to get penetration over there on the Dorito side of the field, and they're able to break out wide, get 2 bodies out, both back bunkers. But Chris, I really do not like that setup for Northeastern. Oh, look at this. Ohio University losing their back player, and also Northeastern losing their back player as well on the Dorito side. So 4 bodies alive for both teams. Ohio University also losing a player out of that stand-up tempo on the snake side of the field, and the back player on the Dorito side of the field. So it's not a good breakout for Ohio University here as Northeastern is pounding down that Dorito side of the field. Able to get into snake 1 as well, so good spread. 4 bodies on 1 right now. Northeastern in the driver's seat, Chris.
Yeah, they're pushing. They'll come down the snake real hard here. You know, there's only 1 player left in the corner for Ohio, but I want to see, you know, how their end game is right here. You know, you really got to pay attention to if they can close the game out.
Yeah, and just exactly what you said. They lose a player trying to push sloppy up that Dorito side. He ends up getting shot out of his bunker. They still have 2 bodies left alive, so it's 2-on-1 right now. So what looked like it was going to be an easy point for Northeastern starts to be troublesome for them as they lose 2 bodies off that Dorito side. So it's 2-on-1 right now. The Ohio University players in the back corner bunker on the Dorito side of the field, and Northeastern trying to spread the field as they're making their way up the Dorito, up the snake side of the field past the 50-yard line. You're looking at the last player for Ohio University stuck in that back corner as Northeastern is trying to make his move. That's Kyle Danahy for Northeastern, and he's basically playing smart right now. When you have the numerical superiority and you have field position, you want to play smart. Now, if they go sloppily into this last player, it could potentially, you know, put themselves to a one-on-one position. They do not want to do that. Kyle making his move, able to, nice job. So number 77, Kyle Danahy for Northeastern, able to polish off the last Bobcat player, making this a 1-point match, Chris, and that's what Northeastern needed right there. They needed to get a point on the board, get some of that confidence back, and it's kind of good. But it did. I'll tell you what, they had 4 bodies on 1.
I know.
And the last player for the Bobcats was able to polish off 2 guys on that Dorito side of the field real quick. You can't push sloppy into teams just because you have numerical superiority.
Absolutely. And I think those 2 guys on the Dorito side got in the line. I don't think they saw him make the move to the corner. They come in looking for him on the inside. He slipped out to the corner. Like I said, desperation move. And, was able to chop a couple of them up, and he put himself in a really good position. He was actually in a position to move down the field. I don't think he knew exactly where the bodies were.
And that's the big thing. Communication is such a key element to the sport of paintball. You see these guys out there, they're rolling their guns. These guns shoot very fast, and they're also kind of loud when you're actually engaging the trigger. And but a lot of these guys, you have to remember that communication has 2 elements. You talk and you also listen. And if you're not doing both those things, you're kind of putting your team in a bad spot, because the basic information, where they are, which way they're shooting, the angles, what moves to make, all that, the basic, very crucial information needs to get carried across the field. And, Chris, you're one of the loudest guys out there, so you're always really good at the communication element of the game.
Yeah, yelling and, definitely making sure everybody knows what's going on is always a strong point of yours as well. You're as a
I'm kind of loud.
Yeah, you're real loud. And actually, in situations, sometimes you actually helped the other team out, like myself sometimes. I wouldn't know how many people are alive, and you'll be screaming, and I just kind of, oh, thanks, Maddie. Appreciate it. Thank you, because I really had no idea what was going on.
Well, I do what I can, Chris.
Yeah,
I do what I can.
You're a team player.
No problem.
Doesn't say, not sure what team sometimes, but a team player.
What are you trying to say?
Hey, you help us all out. I'm also noticing down on the northern side that they have a coach, but I don't see Ohio has a coach on the field. Actually, it's kind of odd, but I'm not sure why.
All right, let's see.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Never mind, I see him now.
Yeah, they got a coach out there. Yeah, it's breaking it down for him. Coaching is such a crucial element, too. I mean, it's so hard, Chris. When you're out there and the game is going and it's chaotic. All right, here we go on the breakout. Looking at Northeastern on your screen, and that's David Pando, one of the standout stars for Ohio University, and he tries to get a shot, back corner bunker on the snake side of the field for Northeastern. And then you're looking at, that's the stand-up tempo right there, dead center screen, and then Northeastern just continuing to lose bodies off the break. Looks like Ohio also loses their back corner, but on the Dorito side of the field, and David Pando able to get in the snake too, Chris. Making his way past the 50-yard line, and so we got ourselves a snake battle right now. Northeastern and Ohio, though much better field position for David Pando.
Oh, great shot on that Dorito. I definitely saw him clip him on the loader.
The referee getting in there and checking him out. And then with the way that this field layout is, though, I really think that the players that play aggressive on the snake side of the field are going to have a field day today, because they really, you're by yourself in there. I mean, there's a lot of cross-field shots that are coming in on you, but because the snake is so long, and once you're able to get, kill the other guys on the other team, you really can get all the way down the field and just shoot everyone on the Dorito side.
Absolutely. And, right now they lost their snake player right there. I mean, getting shot like that from the inside, he needs to pay more attention to the snake guy, because that's where the battle is right now. When your head's up in the snake with somebody.
So David Pando, looks like he might have. See, Northeastern, you can't just run blindly into the snake when that's where communication comes in. Evan should have known from Northeastern. Evan definitely should have known that Pando was in that spot, and he just runs in there like the snake, like there's no one even in the snake.
Absolutely, I'm not sure if he didn't know that Pando was in there. It was, and you talked about it before. Looking at Ohio that game on the breakout, they had 3 guys in the back center, trying to clip the guys coming out to the snake, and then they filtered out after that. Filtering out in this field is not that difficult because there is so much stuff in the way. But that just gave Dave the free rein to run down pretty much go all the way down to snake 3 right away.
And Dave's a veteran, and you're going to see play like that out of the veterans. Because paintball is such a kind of diverse skill set of things that you need to learn to be good at this game, that's why you see, the same guys that are the best in the sport are basically the best in the sport until they decide to retire.
Right.
And it's just such a big, crucial element is that experience. This game's all mental. I mean, once you learn the physical repetitions and the muscle memory, it's all mental. So that's why you're seeing guys like David Pando stand out right now.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to later in the tournament seeing people go up the middle of the field a little bit. Now, getting up the middle.
That's your thing.
Yeah, I love it. We have Chris Treecarth in here. He's a great snake player.
Yeah, from Long Beach.
From Long Beach. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the snake this year because he was a powerhouse last year in the snake.
He feasted last year. He played I think he played over 100 points in a row.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole weekend, and he really definitely stood out and was one of the reasons that they were able to make it so far. Though towards the end, even though he runs like triathlons, but still, it's intense out there, and you get this. It's really nice out right now. It's not that humid, not too hot, but the elements definitely come into play once you're playing an entire weekend of paintball.
Yep. Cameron Derzak, another one. Him, Tossie, Tosh.0.
Tosh.0, Liberty University.
Yeah,
he's here. Saw him yesterday.
I saw him this morning too, actually. I'm looking forward to at least seeing a lot of these guys.
He came up. He's like, "Hey, you remember me?" I was like, "Yeah, Tosh.0."
Yeah. Looks like Ohio has taken a timeout here. It looks like they're trying to reassess some situations, get their stuff together. As you talked about the humidity, it will play a factor as we get to Sunday in this tournament. As of right now, it's beautiful though.
Yeah, it's beautiful out here in Lakeland, Florida, Central Florida paintball. Love coming to this field. Really, really well run. Nice grass fields here. And we didn't really have that luxury playing in California back in the day.
It's more of the dirt, dust,
diving
on,
diving on concrete. And then you'd get those times when it would rain, so you'd have this thin layer of muddy slime covering the hard concrete.
I'm surprised none of us ever broke anything back in that day. I have no idea how that didn't happen.
Youth, right?
Yes, that's rubber bands.
So Northeastern down 2 points right now against the Ohio Bobcats. And the thing that Northeastern's really not doing is, well, they're not doing a bunch of things, but they're not living off the break. They're not getting 5 guys alive. I don't think they've actually had 5 players alive at any point so far. They're also not getting up the field as effectively as Ohio is. Ohio is doing they're doing much better at shooting players off the break. They're effectively getting to their bunkers. They're also playing more aggressive. And that does not bode well for Northeastern.
Absolutely not. Because Ohio is getting in those spots there. And once you get in those spots, like the 50 Dorito, get up in the snake, and if you're in your back spots, you're not going much further than that if you go on the break. You got to go to your first spot, go to your secondary spot right away. Because if you don't, if they get up in the spots like you talked about, you're going to get chopped up trying to move the field up.
And with this field, the way this layout is, once you get up to those front burgers, of course, that's just paintball in general. Yes, the farther up the field you get, the better the angles you have. But this snake really can shoot everyone on the Dorito side of the field once you get past the 50-yard line.
Absolutely. Yeah, you talked about that earlier when you told me you were walking the field. So,
all right, here we go. So Northeastern, now if I was their coach, I really would be focusing on, look, guys, we are not keeping 5 bodies alive off the break. So, and that also speaks to, you're looking at these guys right before they start. Let's see where their eyes are at. Before we saw the snake player, his eyes were down, looking at the ground, kind of mentally picturing his run. You don't want to do that. You want to have your eyes up, looking at those streams of paintballs coming in. Brooklyn trying to make his way onto the snake side of the field. Oh, it looks like Ohio loses a player off the Dorito side of the field, off the break, going to that temple. Chris, I hate that temple. I don't know if you walked out there, but you really can't. There's not much you can do if anybody is in the snake whatsoever from that spot.
Absolutely. And also, they don't have anybody in the Dorito side right now. That filtering out. Ohio lost 2 bodies in the break pretty much. So this is the first thing we've seen them up 5 bodies in Northeastern.
Yeah, Northeastern 5 bodies alive, and then just throwing away one of their bodies with a gigantic move into the snake 1. And you don't want to take those big bumps. You want to take small, smart moves. That's good paintball right there. You don't want to take those gigantic superstar runs where you just run halfway down the field, dive into the spot. And look at this. Ohio in a good spot with, they got Kakuza over here, Brooklyn into snake 2, but Northeastern, Chris, into the 50-yard line Dorito, chopping people up.
Yeah, I think Nick right here is by himself. I don't think he really knows he's by himself yet. He's in a decent spot to protect himself, but at the same time, with Northeastern, the 50 Dorito, it's going to be tough for him.
Yeah, and he's just wilding out too. And really, you have to do that. When you're by yourself, you have to try to even the body count up. And right now, he's looking at 4 Northeastern players. He's in a bad spot too. If you have that many bodies that are coming at you, you really don't want to be down and have your face in the dirt. And he's just basically trying to hug that bunker and get as close as he can. He's about to get his back destroyed, and there it goes.
He was in a rough spot right there, Matty. Once he got up, he made a great move by getting up there, but they lost on the Dorito side over there that game.
And it comes down to keeping bodies alive off the break. Now, you look, Northeastern able to keep 5 bodies alive off the break. They rolled their guns. They made that smart move, aggressive move up the Dorito side of the field. The only body they threw away was that one sloppy move over here on the snake side of the field, running all the way from that back bunker, which, by the way, I hate that back bunker. That back bunker is terrible. You can't do anything from there. I don't know why anyone would want to go there.
I know. It's
terrible spot.
And you can't really stop them from coming. If you're in the corner, you can't stop them from coming down the snake. You can't even see it.
No, you can't do anything from that spot.
Northeastern right now, Kyle Daney playing phenomenal. He's the one that went down the drills that game. He's the one that came down the snake the other game and closed the game out. He's playing pretty solid right now for Northeastern.
And our score is now 3-2, still in favor of the Ohio University Bobcats, but Northeastern able to get on the board with some good play that last point. And that's what they need to keep doing. They really need to focus on keeping those bodies alive off the break, trying to shoot someone from the other team off the break, obviously. But that's really important. It's anytime that we were having problems, I don't know if you guys were doing this on your teams too, but anytime that we would have problems keeping guys alive off the break, that would then become our focus. We would say, okay, hey, look, now get 5 bodies out alive and just play paintball for 30 seconds. Yep. Let's focus on playing paintball for 30 seconds out of our bunkers, and then after that, then we can play jazz. Yep. Then we can go to town. But let's keep those bodies alive. That's what Northeastern did, and it's been effective.
Yep, for sure. Right there, Doug coming in the game right now. They've been changing it up a little bit with Ohio. They've been putting 3 guns in the back and then trying to filter out. I'm not sure if that's working out so well for them. I like to see him start off with their original breakouts. Getting aggressive.
I totally agree. And when you're looking at, honestly, when we're looking at how these guys have been playing this field, this game is 3-2, so we have a 1-point match right now. But Ohio really shouldn't let this game be this close. It's mental mistakes that I think have enabled Northeastern to get back in this match.
Right.
On Ohio is what I'm saying. I think that they have just started to maybe a little too confident after the first couple points that they had. All right, now on the breakout, you're looking at Ohio University on your screen, doubling up that back center and able to get into Snake 1 off the break. And into Dorito 1 as well, Dorito 2.
Like we talked about, Matt, get it more aggressive. Go back to your original breakouts, get up the field, and that's exactly what they did right here.
But look at this, David Pando all the way past the 50-yard line off the break. And he's going to try. He's got great shots right now on Dorito 2 and the back corner. And it doesn't even look like they know he's in there. Now David Pando shooting crossfield. Destroys Dorito 1. Gets a shot on Dorito 2. I think he might have clipped his pack. Can't really tell from here. And then back in playing tight. So nice job, David Pando. He's got a back player behind him as well. Ohio University looks pretty solid right now.
1 for 1.
Major penalty on Northeastern. So just when they start to get back in the game, they get a major penalty. So 2 players left alive for Northeastern, both on the Dorito side of the field, and David Pando owns the snake.
Yeah, look for him just to move down the field. I mean, it's going to systematically take these people out.
And I don't know what the Northeastern players are doing over there on the Dorito side. If you have a guy that just shot at you from past the 50-yard line on the snake, the last thing that I'm going to want to do is completely ignore that player.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're getting shot over there, and then they just
turn their back on.
No big deal. Guys past my 50-yard line. We're good. And then they start shooting on the Dorito side. That's just, you can't do that if you're expecting to win points.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're getting shot at. They're like, okay, well, I'll just shoot somewhere else now, and they turn their back totally to the guy. And the snake is, David is playing phenomenal in the snake right now. Him and Brooklyn are both. If it's not him, it's Brooklyn. They got a good snake presence for sure.
Yeah, they definitely have a good snake presence, and we're starting to watch how this field is going to be breaking down all weekend long. You have the snake. The snake, obviously, most dominant structure on the field. You have to get guys in there alive. However, the back bunkers behind the snake aren't really that great. So it's really, as you're looking at the snake right now on your screen. Now, that snake, it's so long, so dominant, you're able to get onto the other team's side of the field like David Pando was able to do for Ohio. But the thing is that if that happens, then you have 2 choices. 1, you got to run that guy down to the snake, or 2, you need to go down the Dorito side of the field. Dorito side on the top portion of your screen right now. And that's basically how we're going to watch things break down. All weekend long.
Definitely, like you said, taking a look at the Doritos right there, getting to those first Doritos is not that hard. Getting outside of the second Dorito is not that hard. You see the 50 Dorito, once you get up to that spot, you can look across the field. You might want to stop there and, look across the field, let your snake guys come up, and then you have total field control. And that's exactly what Ohio University is doing right now.
It is definitely about total field control, although it doesn't always go that well.
No, it sounds good.
That's great.
It did sound good.
Hey, Chris, that's your job. You need to talk about what they're supposed to be doing, and they need to be doing that.
It sounded fantastic. Now, I think that Northeastern is actually in a major penalty situation here, which means they'll start off with 4 players, I believe.
And that's when you're trying to get back in the match. Some guys try too hard, and that's what happens. Sometimes you get penalties.
No, there must have been a minor penalty.
We did see a red flag. But look at this, all the way up to the 50-yard line off the break. 50-yard line center structure for Northeastern, but they're getting chopped up here on the Snake side. 4 bodies alive for both teams. Ohio, crossfield spread. They do not really have anyone farther than those back bunkers, Chris. I mean, they're in Dorito 1, back corner bunker on the Dorito side. They do not have any penetration on the Snake side of the field. Oh, Northeastern losing their player. It was a good move. He made it up there. Like you were saying, the center part of the field.
Yep, I was looking at, and the thing is, once you get to that center part, if you don't shoot somebody in the break, there's good moves up. You can block people out with the towers and kind of do a run through. I mean, I was looking at it earlier.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to seeing somebody do that for sure. And I think maybe the Bornstein brother, one of the Bornstein brothers, Corey, might do that later.
Yeah.
I mean, he's known for that as well.
So Northeastern with time here ticking off the clock. And that is going to do it here for the first half. Our score heading into halftime is 2-4 in favor of Ohio University Bobcats. Northeastern, they struggling, and they're only 2 points away from tying it up with Ohio, but just if you're looking at pure paintball right now, and as far as skills and strategy is concerned, I think that this game really isn't as close necessarily as the score would dictate.
Yeah, like you said, them breaking out right there, that was a great breakout for Northeastern. I was happy to see what they did. They got a little more aggressive, filtered in the snake real quick. And, Kyle getting up in the mix there. He's the one that got the penalty last game. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I believe when he went to the tower, he got clipped in the pack or maybe in the side or something. Mm-hmm. I did see something, but I wasn't sure exactly what it was. And then Kyle, he actually got that penalty. But he got up in the center. He got the center 50 pretty well right there.
Yeah, he did. And that's why, these teams warm up. It's just like anything else. You get going, you start playing, feel things out, see what strategies are working, what's not working, who's playing well, who's not playing well, and then you adjust from there. And it was good to see Northeastern make that aggressive move up the center of the field when they're down points.
Yeah.
Because honestly, that's the type of play, that's the mindset that you need to be successful at paintball.
Especially the X-Ball.
Yes, especially this format.
Absolutely. The format, you got to get aggressive. Even when you're down, you got to just sack up and just get down the field.
For sure.
And that's exactly. I like seeing that out of Northeastern right now. I'm kind of anxious to see how they come out. They're on their pit side. Ohio's on their pit side as well.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing how they come down the snake, right hand dominant now.
Yeah, they need to tighten it up.
Yes,
they're playing a little bit. Northeastern's playing a little bit sloppy, and that could come back to bite them. It already is a little bit. They're losing too many players off the break. They're not making the aggressive moves, as many aggressive moves as Ohio is. But at the same time, I think that they're starting to learn the field a little bit, though.
Definitely, definitely. They're definitely. I think they're coming in. They're getting in their groove a little bit. As long as they can stay out of the penalty box, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
And Ohio is definitely coming along. I don't expect to see much of a change out of them. I think they'll be just as aggressive in the Dorito side as they are on the snake side, with Pando and Brooklyn out here.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you what, if Ohio they just need to do the exact same thing they're doing right now. However, with Ohio, it seems like they're a little bit too, their body language is a little bit too, I wouldn't say confident, but I think that they came up with a little bit, we're going to steamroll these guys. That's kind of the vibe that I got.
When they first came out,
yes.
And I think now they're gonna have to reassess what's going on and, kind of reassess their breakouts, because that one game they had 3 guys in the back center. Mm-hmm. That's almost unheard of in this format.
Yeah, exactly. But you can triple up the back center
for a second,
but you need to get the hell out of there, man. Yeah. You need to make moves out of there. You can't just keep 3 players in the back center rolling your guns and think that that's going to be okay.
Right?
No, that's not how it works. Yep. You need to get out of there. Tripling up the back center. That's normally your move, right?
Yeah, absolutely. that's my breakout move. Yeah. I got Oliver Lang up here.
Yes,
he came up bothering us during our telecast. See, and just so everybody knows at home, they brought Maddie a coffee. They didn't bring me nothing. And Maddie didn't even give me any money. I gave him money. I gave you $20 and I got nothing. I didn't even get a peanut or nothing.
Chris, thank you for the coffee.
You're welcome, Maddie.
I
really appreciate it.
It's delicious too.
So.
It's
God,
sugared and creamed perfectly.
Oliver had to go to a separate stop. Oh, Jesus. They what? Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Wonderful. He got me some ears. Rhymes with ear. Awesome.
So we're looking at, you got
fantastic.
That's Brooklyn from Ohio University on your screen right now. He's a snake player.
Where'd that come from?
I don't know. We almost got shot.
We almost got shot. See, Oliver comes around and paintballs start flying at us. We were fine until you got here. Jeez.
All over the paintball magnet. That's what he's known for, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They might not stick.
Get a lot of bounces.
They might not stick.
Hey, I'd rather be lucky than good any day, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, goodness. About here to start the second half of this game, you're looking at Ohio right now. I'm looking, the starting players in Ohio right there, Nick Kukuza, known as Brooklyn, Joe. I'm going to murder these last names, so you have to bear with us. Pando, his last name is Blue Shield. Isn't that an insurance company? Like, just sorry.
Yes.
For all you guys at home, I'm horrible with last names, and we will find this out over the weekend. But I will, refine my.
Hey, they're not helping us out. Number 23, Skankenberger. John Skankenberger.
Shank.
That's actually not his name. But that's how we're going to pronounce it for the rest of the weekend.
That's exactly. So, in case you guys are just tuning in, you didn't come here last year. We murder last people's names. We make you laugh. We make this fun because this is what we do.
It's paintball.
It is paintball. And if we're not having fun, what are we doing?
Yeah,
here?
it's the 2011 NCPA National Championships.
Absolutely.
Chris Tasoya, Matty Marshall. We got Oliver Lang, and he's going to be coming up in a little bit. We got Kevin Arcilla Catfish. Maybe you've known him from the short bus. He's hilarious.
So funny.
And I'm hoping maybe we can get David Pando to throw up again. Remember last year?
Oh, absolutely.
He had that amazing run-through and then just starts vomiting everywhere.
I can't wait. I definitely see that. And here goes Snake in the break. Almost. Going to that brick. Kyle making a great move at the center for Northeastern.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it worked last time. They did it again, and Ohio's going to have to try to shut that move down. You can make that move. You can make that run, and we've now seen it twice from Northeastern. He's trying to shut down that Dorito side of the field from that center 50 structure.
And if he shoots his Dorito guy, there's no reason he can't run through. Right now you see Brooklyn trying to get a shot underneath the X or underneath the A, trying to get a shot on his foot. He's got to be careful with his stance. And here comes the ref. I'm telling you, got to be careful with your foot right there.
Yeah, and anytime you see a referee sprint in like that,
run.
Look for run. And if you're watching the game, look for penalty flags just flying into the air.
Run the other way.
But he's able to play clean. But he did get shot out of there. So now Nick Kukuza, Brooklyn owns this snake. He's past the 50-yard line. His bodies are dropping off for Northeastern. 3 bodies left alive on the field for Northeastern right now. And it looks like 5 bodies alive for Ohio. And Brooklyn just having a field day over here in the snake. It looks like he's trying to get a shot on the 50-yard line, Dorito. And that's Brooklyn, bottom portion of your screen right there, past the 50-yard line and snake for Ohio University.
And Northeastern has to realize that Brooklyn here is occupied with the 50 Dorito and make the move to get outside here. Great move by Ohio.
So Ohio University on the run-through gets all the way into the backfield of Northeastern. Nice job by Ohio University streaking down that Dorito side, polishing off. Oh, look at this. Kukuza goes to sleep on the last player for Northeastern. He gets chewed up trying to come down the snake side of the field. Still 3 bodies left for Ohio. They're just going to run down, give a little back massage to the back player, and he's going to tap out.
Typical, just like you said before, one of the Northeastern player playing at the tower, he knew that Brooklyn was in the snake and just decided not to pay attention to him. Brooklyn comes out, just shoots him right in the face. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Who does that?
Him, apparently.
Absolutely. You can't do that. When there's somebody that far up in the snake, that is your only concern.
Yep.
Nobody else really matters at that point. Oh, unless you want to put somebody else in and run them down the highway.
Yeah. And the highway, in case you guys are just tuning in, the highway is the inside part of the snake, and that we call it the highway because you're sprinting.
Absolutely.
You're not slowing down on the highway.
Absolutely not.
That's why we call it the highway.
And sometimes it's the carpool lane. When you don't think you're going to make it, just follow the guy in front of you.
Yep. One of the few times we did get to play together, because me and you were always playing against each other for years, but that was one of the things I liked, was that anytime you'd get up, giddy up down the field, I'd be like, oh, it's time to go. Love that.
I'm not very good at stopping. I'm good at starting. I can go forward motion, but the stopping part is my problem. When you do make a move like that, at least players like yourself, if you run down the field, the guns are going to turn, and you're going to tiptoe up the field. You're going to shoot people in the hoppers because they're not really paying attention to you. They're so busy arguing or screaming at me for running down the field with 25 hits on me. And I'm a realist.
Or more.
Or more
occasionally.
I'm a realist. I'm not a liar.
Yes.
It is what it is at this point. When you run down the field and their guns are going to turn, that was my job, to get as many welts as possible.
And the smart players, and we see you walking around counting your welts at the end of the tournament.
It's horrible.
Chris got his shirt off again. Let's count the welts.
Yeah.
48, 49.
Once I turn 29, I don't take my shirt off too much anymore, though.
Well, I mean, you're 29 right now, right?
29 right now.
Yeah, okay, and holding.
It's my 9th year anniversary.
Yeah, I'm going to have to start that, too. I'm going to have to start the 29 and holding.
You still look like you're 24, though, 23.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
You do. I mean...
You're just saying that because I'm sitting right next to you.
Yeah, I won't say that later. Just because you're right in the space right now.
Well, I appreciate it.
I love how Northeastern is ready to go, and there's still a minute before they start the game. Those guys are ready to go. I'm looking forward to seeing the breakout.
So Northeastern needs to get something going here because Ohio University is just putting it on them right now, both sides of the field. Aggressive play from Ohio off the break, trying to make it out to Dorito 3 on the Dorito side of the field, able to make it in there. It looks like referee was checking them out, and then immediately into the snake. They lose their back player, though, and they had doubled up that back center. So both teams have lost the body. We're looking at 4 live for both teams, and also better field position for Ohio University. Bobcats are into snake 2.
Ohio getting to the 50 Dorito over there too right now. I mean, they're doing slow, methodical pushes, man. I mean, they're doing their jobs.
And as time is starting to tick off this clock, the score is 5-2, and Ohio really dominating this game. And I would say that actually this game is not as close as the score would dictate. There's not. I mean, you could, if Northeastern could theoretically get back in this match with 7 minutes and 6 seconds remaining, but they are just dropping the ball right now. Absolutely dropping the ball. One player left alive. He gets polished off, and it is just all Ohio University at this point.
Actually, in Northeastern, they had some pretty good field position at that point. What I saw was, they're real sloppy when they get in their bunkers.
Mm-hmm.
They were in the snake. He had a good spot, but he came out, he led with his gun,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy from Ohio was just sitting there waiting for him and shot his gun to pieces. You can't. Those are practical mistakes that you can't make.
But we're seeing them make them over and over and over again. Now, with Northeastern, they're hit or miss. I'm seeing some good stuff out there. I think that play up the center is great, but you can't make a dynamic, aggressive move, get up there and not do anything out of that spot. Yes, you're going to draw the guns. Yes, you're in a good spot. People are going to be concerned about you, like you were saying before. If somebody's in the snake and somebody's doing work, that is the big threat, and that is who you're focusing on.
Right. Number 17, Ryan Kenny on Northeastern that you just saw a second ago. He's the captain of the team. He's been playing for 10 years, so he has a lot of experience, with paintball in general. He's only 20 years old, so he's been playing since he was 10 years old. So, I mean, he should have some good knowledge because he came in right about when the hyperball and stuff started playing.
Yeah.
So he should know this, know this game real well. So I think that he's bringing a lot to the team, actually.
I agree, and it's definitely
there you get a shot of Ryan right there.
Yeah, Ryan Kennedy. And he needs to get his boys up, though. The score 6-2 right now. 6 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in our second half of the first matchup. And Northeastern needs to get something going.
Yeah, I'm looking for them to start making more aggressive moves because, just sitting in the back isn't going to do them any good. I like how they're getting up in the 50. I just think that I wish he'd do a little more with it.
Well, he's trying to shut down the Dorito side of the field, and that's fine. But then your boys need to step up, too. Okay, we have someone all the way up in the 50-yard line, center part of the field, shutting down that Dorito side. Well, make moves on the snake. Get somebody in there. Make moves on the Dorito side. We're not seeing those. They're attempting some of those dynamic moves, but this is all about timing. You can't just blindly run down the field into guns and hope they miss you or that it bounces.
Right.
You have to make smart moves. You have to use your teammates, use that gunfight, and then Northeastern only sends 3 bodies out for this next point.
And I don't think that one of them didn't even make it. I don't understand exactly how that happens. That's either a coaching mistake or something.
Regardless, I don't care whose mistake it is, inexcusable. This is the national championships. They're playing Class A ball. This is the best college paintball players in the United States. You cannot make mistakes like that. You can't send just 3 bodies out and barely get those guys out. Did you see how the last one, like you said, I don't think he made it out there.
No, he didn't make it by the buzzer. That's why they called him out.
Yeah, and you can see their body language. Body language tells so much in paintball. You can see it when they're playing the actual bunkers, when they want to make a move. As Ohio runs that flag in, score's now going to be 7-2. And they're walking off the field dejected, and I mean, they still haven't. It's not that they don't have enough time. Well, now we're starting to get to a point where they don't have enough time,
right?
As it's 7-2. But with 5 minutes and 40 seconds left, theoretically they could get back in this game. But honestly, it's not going to happen.
I get more pumped up when I'm down. I want to get back. I want to get back out there, and I want to get hungry. I want to go out there and eat somebody's lunch. I get more mad. I get more aggressive. I mean, and right now they have nothing to lose. I mean,
absolutely. And we would always say that. Remember, we'd be in huddles, or we're talking about. It was such a cliche for us, but it'd be like, "Don't get down, get up."
Yep.
We're down. Hey, we're down 3 points. Don't get down, get up. And that's a mentality that the teams that want to do well out here need to have. There's a lot. I mean, you 10-minute halves. This is a ton of time to play paintball out there. So regardless, it's not like a race 2 format where if they get to a certain score, then they're going to win. That's not how it works. You have 10-minute halves. There's 20 minutes of paintball that you're playing. That's a ton of time. And if you get mentally defeated when you're down 4 points, man, it does not bode well for you.
Or on the flip side, you can now is your chance to start learning the field. Yeah, you're down. Yeah, you're probably not going to win this game, but figure something out. Start testing stuff out for the next game. What's going to work? What can we do to make ourselves better for the next game? What lanes can we shoot? So on and so forth.
Absolutely.
Learn something from this. Don't be down.
And anytime you see one team starting to run away with the game, as not only as a fan, as a paintball fan, somebody that likes to watch paintball, but as if I was a coach or a member of that team, this is when you really can just start going to town, man. Who cares? If you're down 5 points, if you're Northeastern right now, if you're the Huskies, man, make a move. Do something dramatic. Right. Try to take the snake off the break. Go to Dorito 3 off the break. Or go to the center 50, snake 1 and Dorito 3 off the break, or run a stunt. Do something dynamic to try to get yourself back in this match.
Well, they lose 2 on the break.
And one of them got shot trying to make the snake off the break. That's totally fine. The other one dies out of his bunker, out of the stand-up temple on the snake side of the field. And now, here we go, Ohio University. That's Brooklyn. Nick Kuza past the 50-yard line. And also Ohio able to get to the 50-yard line. Dorito on the opposite side of the field. That's Brooklyn right there. Just destroys Dorito 1. And there's only one player left alive, and he's in the back center, and he doesn't even make a run for it. Or not. He doesn't even really make it a game. Just gets destroyed. And it is all Ohio right now, just running the score up here the past couple points. And you can see it in their body language from Northeastern. They're just not in a good mental state right now. Hey, is a beating ever really going to put you in a good mental state? But like you're saying, don't get down, get up.
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to see a double X move on this. I'd like to see Northeastern go up the middle, shoot out wide from the X. Cause that's stuff you try at this point.
Absolutely.
And the way that Ohio's playing right now, they're getting outside. They're shooting their lanes down the field. They're really not shooting inside that much, so that might actually possibly work for Northeastern if they can give it a shot.
That double A move, and that's the center structure in the 50-yard line, right in the center of the field. That's the A bunker. And Chris is talking about sending 2 players up to that, both shooting out, one towards the Dorito side, one towards the snake side. And, hey, I think that might work. They got one guy up there alive already. Yep. Why not give it a shot? It's not like it's going to really affect anything. I mean, they're down 6 points with 5 minutes left, which is still, theoretically they still could get back in this game, but they're not playing well enough to do it.
And there's that A we were talking about right there. Now, from that A, as you get to the A, if there's nothing stopping you, you can see the can just to the right of your screen there. Yep. You can use that to block the other team out. So that's a run-through spot. That's stuff I look for. I go to the A, nobody's stopping me. Bam, I go to their side of the field. I start shooting across the field, get as many kills as I can, and then continue to move down the field. My other guys will come up behind me and hopefully, close the game out. Those are the kind of moves I look at. I don't plan on living more than a good 30 seconds, and I really don't. But it's a game like that. You shoot 3 guys, the game's over.
And that's an important element to note is that with the way you have 5 bodies, so if you have the ability or have a player that wants to make that move or can make that move, let them try that out. It is a long game, so I think that's one of the things that I think you pick up with on experience as you gain experience. Though, is that you can have those like, hey man, not only is that going to put the fear in them. Because if you do those dynamic moves every now and then, they don't really know what to think. When teams are scouting you, if you do the same thing over and over and over again, they're going to be able to hone in on what exactly it is that's working for you guys. But if you throw those things in every now and then, there's 4 guns in the back for Northeastern off the break, which is definitely not the move, I think.
No, I definitely think. And, Ohio, talking about they're getting up the field.
And they didn't shoot anybody. No. 4 guns alive off the break for Northeastern Huskies. Did not kill any of the Ohio University players. 5 bodies left alive for both teams right now.
And I like seeing what Ohio did here. They kind of did an altercation, an alternative to what we just talked about. Instead of going to the A, they went to the cans. Both of them shot outside. Again,
They heard you. Did you give them the psychic vibes?
I gave them the psychic vibes. But nobody, they didn't shoot anybody, Ohio player, losing a player out of the magic stick. Looking at Northeastern, though, a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores.
And just on your screen, you had just saw those two players for Ohio in that center and able to get a shot on Dorito, too. So bodies, both teams are starting to fall. 4 bodies alive for Ohio University. They have a player in the snake now. And it looks like Northeastern with 3 bodies left alive, stuck in that back center. Looking at Northeastern on your screen right now. Oh, just gunfighting. Getting shot out by the center player for Ohio University, and desperation move down the snake side of the field. He gets tore up.
That was a Captain Ryan Kennedy making the move down the snake, trying to get their snake player out.
3 minutes and 38 seconds remaining here in regulation. We are in half number 2. Watching the first game of the day. In case you're just tuning in, you are watching the Ohio University Bobcats take on Northeastern Huskies. And it's been all Ohio University so far this game, as they score another point to run the score up to 9-2. This game started out a lot closer than this, but
yeah, they went back and forth. Ohio taking the first 2 points, Northeastern taking the 3rd point, Ohio taking the 4th point, Northeastern taking the 5th point. So it was back and forth for a little bit, and after that, it was kind of all downhill for Northern. Northeastern, like I said before, they have a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores. A relatively new team, younger talent. So, we don't look for these guys to go away anytime soon. I think they'll go back and they'll see what's going on with themselves, and come back out stronger.
Absolutely, and it's one of those things where you really can't hate on Northeastern too much. Yes, they are not performing as well as Ohio, but Ohio has some really solid players on that team that have been around for a long time. They have that experience, and paintball is a very mental game. The physical aspect of it is not necessarily, obviously it's very important in the game, but once you hit a certain level of skill, it's the mental elements that really make a great player. And we're just seeing Ohio University is just a little bit more dominant on the mental side of the game right now.
Absolutely, and also, the starting line for Ohio, Pando, and Nick. Those guys were all here last year, and we saw a lot out of them last year, and they're not disappointing us this year. I think they've gotten a little better, actually. This is a great snake-dominant field, like you talked about. You get to that 50 snake, and you can pretty much shoot everybody. When you told me that, I went and looked, and you're absolutely right.
Once you get past there, you can just basically destroy the entire side of the field. And the Dorito side is basically, I wouldn't say that it is a dominant side of the field. It's not. Some Dorito sides of the field are a little bit more open, but you can really march down that side. However, you have to really keep in mind that if the snake is hot and there's somebody in there, that you can get tore up over there.
Right.
All right, here we go. Breakout for Ohio University. Big move on the Dorito side, all the way to the 50-yard line off the break, and a snake one. Chris, they're listening to us.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I can't believe he made that 50 Dorito.
Pano getting shot, trying to press past that 50-yard line. They also lose the player. It looks like they made it in there. I think Pano got shot in his pack.
Yeah, when he's
trying to get as he was trying to press up the field.
Northeastern losing 2 players in that Dorito side doesn't really help the situation right now.
No, it does not. But look at this. Ohio, they lost 2 bodies, but they still have the snake and they still have the 50-yard line Dorito. But now they're just losing bodies out of their bunkers. Losing guys out of their bunkers.
Look for Ryan right now to try and get up in this snake, because there's nobody over here to stop him whatsoever.
3 bodies alive, 2 now for Northeastern. As they get Ryan into snake 2, and he shoots crossfield, able to get a shot. Takes out the Ohio University player, so 1 body left alive for Ohio University. But I really like to Ohio making those dramatic, aggressive moves off the break. They're up a ton of points right now, so the game is essentially theirs, and now they're just trying to see what works.
Ryan making a nice move down the snake. Too little, too late. I think that hopefully they learned from what they saw there. Ohio making big moves in the break, though.
Yeah, Ohio making those big moves off the break, and I, again, like to see that. I think that's an important it's an important element for the future of this event, because when you're up this many points, the score is going to be it's going to be 9-3. still in favor of Ohio. But the thing is that if you're up that many points, go crazy, man.
Yep.
It's inconsequential anymore. You're going to win the game. With only 1 minute and 42 seconds left, there's nothing that Northeastern is going to be able to do to put enough points on the board to beat you. So really, that's when you got to, okay, what's going to work? Let's try some crazy game plans. And they did that. Ohio University sends players snake one, off the break, 50-yard line Dorito off the break. Both guys made it in, too.
Yep.
David Pano in the snake only got shot as he was aggressively pushing down that snake side. And the thing is that, and this is definitely something to keep in mind at home as you're watching the webcast for the rest of the weekend, is that snake, it's a good bunker in the sense that you can get all the way down the field, get those good cross-field shots. But if you don't stay low in there, you definitely can get paintballs arcing in and hit you in the pack, and that's what happened to Pando.
You know, and I like that move to the 50 Dorito on the break. That was pretty stellar. You know, and one thing also that we're looking at with Ohio is they're playing real aggressive paintball. They're running down the field, and they're taking their time once they get in the snake. They're taking their time. They're looking at their cross shots. They're playing real smart paintball right now, and I guess I want to see Northeastern come out a little stronger next game and kind of learn from the mistakes on this game. As long as you're learning from your mistakes, coming out the next game and fixing your problems, then I think that it's a win-win for everybody.
Well, I totally agree, Chris. And we are almost to the end of our first match of the day. Next up, Florida Gators taking on Kennesaw State Owls.
Florida Gators were a good contender last year. They played real well. I'm not sure, what kind of roster they have from last year, but I think they lost a game going into the semis or something, and it was either they go on or don't. I think they played pretty well, and I think it was disappointing.
They definitely played very well. I'm hoping that they come out with that aggression that we saw last year. So much more entertaining to watch aggressive teams play, and we're watching that right now with Ohio University making those bold moves. And let's hope they do the same thing here. And if for Northeastern, I don't know why they wouldn't do that themselves. Hey, try something. Roll the dice, man. Nothing at this point. It doesn't matter. You're going to lose the match. You might as well go out guns blazing.
Yep, absolutely. I like you said before. I think they were heads down there for a little bit, but I think now they actually are coming out a little stronger. They're starting to learn and make better moves, better decisions,
which is super key.
Yeah.
Again, it's all about that mental aspect of the game. And we are going to see it played out here all weekend long. You are watching the 2011 NCPA National Championships. I'm Matty Marshall. I'm up here with Chris Lasoya, paintball legend. We also have Oliver Lang. He's going to be up here later on this afternoon. And Kevin Arcilla, Catfish.
We're going to have a good time out here this weekend.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're only going to get smarter as the weekend goes on because we might,
Yeah, I'm not getting smarter.
We're going to try.
I'm going to get consistently dumber as the weekend goes on. On general principle.
You know what? I believe you.
All right, this may be the last point here. Let's see if Northeastern can dig deep, play with some heart here, come out strong. I would triple up the center 50.
I'd send all 5 people to the
Why not, man? Why not?
I definitely want to see something crazy. I want to see them have a little bit of hate, come out here and just try and smash them one more point.
Not a lot of time left in this game. And I'm liking what I see out of Ohio. I think that Ohio's one of the favorites here, the national championships. All right, look at Ohio on the break right now, digging out on that snake side of the field. Not a very aggressive breakout. Doubling up that back center. And here he goes. You're looking at Northeastern. Now you're looking at Ohio. They lose Brooklyn. Oh, they lose 3 bodies out of their bunkers. So destruction for Ohio. And they lose 4, so just 1 player left in that back center with 1 minute and 25 seconds left to play here in regulation. And here comes Northeastern. Past the 50-yard line. I don't think they know there's only... Yeah, they definitely know now that there's only 1 player left alive in that back center. And they are going to polish him off.
That was good aggressive play by Northeastern. They... NU came out. They shot their guns in the break. They got two good eliminations in the break.
Yeah.
I see. I'm starting to like what I see here now. Hopefully they continue to do this later.
Okay, so Northeastern scoring that point. Now, Chris, let's say you're the coach for Northeastern. What would you say to them in the pits after this game?
Other
than just, hey, stop sucking and play better?
Yeah, they start off real well. And then they seem to get away from their game plan, and now they're readapting their game plan they started with. So I mean, they got to sit back and see what worked for them.
Yeah.
What they're doing right now is working. What they did in the beginning was working.
Yeah.
I think by abandoning their game plans in the middle of the game, getting down on themselves, walking with their heads down, starting with 2 players that one game, that's just either mental mistakes. You got to fix those now. And, say, hey, we can do this. We can come back out. We can beat people like this. We just got to stay focused and, pay attention to our game plans.
I think it does. It comes down to mental tenacity and game plans. You have to merge the two. The thing with them, though, is that I'm just watching a lot of those mental mistakes happen out there. They're losing guys out of their bunkers. You're going to get guys shot off the break. Guys are going to get shot off the break. It's going to happen. But you have to still have that mental toughness to still go with the game plan until it gets changed. If the coach changes the game plan, but hey, let's say you get shot 3 times going to the insert bunker behind the snake, and your coach is like, hey, I need you to get out there again. You can't go out there in your mind and be like, oh my God, I've already been shot 3 times trying to make it to that spot. I'm never going to make it alive. You can't think that.
Because you're going to get shot.
Because guess what's going to happen?
Clock.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I don't know. The whole secret thing, I don't know how that really works in the real world, but it definitely works in paintball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The worst thing you say is stay alive.
Oh, that's it.
That's
that is the death knoll right there.
Don't say
Chris,
that to me.
Stay alive. Right in your goggles. Cyclops immediately after you say
that to me.
You know what also always happens too is that as soon as you start being like, oh, you know who's an amazing player? That guy in the center 50, he's playing. Look at that guy's going to get shot.
Oh yeah.
As soon as you start talking amazing things about a guy, he's going to get shot. The jinx is definitely on for sure in this level of paintball.
Power of suggestion.
All right, so they quadruple up the back center off the break for Northeastern, an aggressive breakout. That's actually, I was going to say, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing to maybe triple up the back center and then try to immediately get out as Northeastern draws a penalty. And
major penalty on Northeastern right there. And because we're down under 90 seconds, that's an automatically stoppage of the game. When there's a major penalty under 90 seconds, Maddie, what happens?
Well, then it's an immediate point for the opposing team.
It looked like it happened in the back center with Ryan Kennedy. I think he was one of the guys back there. I'm not sure exactly who got the penalty. All I know is I saw a big fist go in the air. I saw a red flag, and I was like, okay, well, that's a penalty, which means automatic stoppage, and the point goes to the other team, which won Ohio.
Ohio still continuing to play aggressive. I really like that. I like seeing that. They know they're going to win this match for sure, and they went to the 50-yard line, center bunker off the break, went to the A. So it was a good job by Ohio to continue to mix it up. They're rolling the dice on all sides of the field, and they were still able to make it up there even though they quadrupled up that back center. Northeastern did.
Yep. I'm not sure, if... Now, they only have one color flag here, so I'm not sure, let's get some clarification on what the penalties are.
Yeah.
I know their fist in the air I think it's a major, but I'm not really sure. We'll go ahead and see if they start with 4 here on the Northeastern side.
So Northeastern, looking at them right now on your screen.
Yeah, because I didn't hear a buzzer or anything.
Struggling so far. But they're playing a great team. The Bobcats are great. I mean, they're a very strong team. They have some veterans on that squad that have been playing this sport for a while. Looking at Ohio University right now. And it shows. It really does show. You're seeing not only, I think, solid game plans from Ohio University, but also just some good, solid individual play, which is what they're going to need if they want to contend here at the national championships.
Yeah, and, I'm looking forward to seeing them later in the weekend as well.
All right, Northeastern, again, quadrupling up that back center, and it's just, they lose a player off the break back there. That's not a good game plan.
No, once you start off like that, you go up in the middle like you see Ohio do right there. Northeastern trying to get out to the drills and trying to save it right now. Him getting clipped in the head in the back center. Once you get to, once you have so many people stuck in the back center, you can't recover from that. If you have a guy in the A, you can't recover because you're just going to get chopped up. You can't get outside. You're all stuck in the back center. So it looks like that's probably going to do it. There's only 9 seconds left in the game. I don't expect to see too much out of this last breakout, to be honest with you. Yeah,
the score actually 11-4 in favor of the Ohio University Bobcats. And really solid job by them today. I'm very impressed. I was expecting Ohio to come out strong at this event, talked to David Pando yesterday, their captain, and really like that kid, man. He's a good guy, really into the sport, really appreciates paintball and works hard to be good at it. And I think that's a good leader for that team. And they're definitely showing that they're a contender here.
You know, it's looking like they're going to actually call this last 9 seconds of the game. So it looks like the final score is going to be what you saw. You know, Ohio coming out real strong and aggressive, playing real well. You know, I look for Northeastern not to be taken lightly next game, though. I think they're gonna go make some changes and come back out strong this game.
I agree too. The thing though is that I'm looking at the end of that match, and the last couple points they're quadrupling up that back center, and man, that's not what I want to see out of that team for them moving forward. Now, I talked to some of those kids earlier, and they were definitely, I think, mentally where they need to be. However, I don't know if maybe they need to kind of get together on the game plans, but you have a situation where, look, you're down a lot of points. You're going to lose the match. There's not a lot of time left, and I understand they're quadrupling up the back center because, well, hey, we're trying to shoot the very aggressive moves that Ohio's doing, but I would rather see them rolling the dice, trying to make some sort of aggressive play happen, because that is going to pay them dividends later on in the event. Because then they're going to be able to see, okay, what works, what doesn't, and you can't do that unless you're actually actively trying to get those guys into those spots.
Oh, yeah!
Right.
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Woo!
Looking at Ohio getting it up right there. Good job.
You know, they played real smart paintball. I was really happy. You know, I definitely see them going far this weekend for sure.
Yeah, the favorites here, UConn, playing very well. I think they went undefeated so far in their regional play. Definitely, Penn State is definitely one of those favorites too. They have Tyler Nalig. He's on that team still. It's his last year. They got a couple. They got Pastor. He's a baller on the snake side of the field. They have Penn State has a very strong snake side core group of guys. But yeah, UConn, Penn State, Ohio,
Cal State,
Long Beach. Yeah, Cal State, Long Beach. You know, not a lot of West Coast teams play in collegiate paintball. It's pretty dominant as far as East Coast and Southern teams. But Cal State Long Beach, past couple of years, they really have some good, and they have one of the Bornstein brothers, Corey Bornstein, and then they also have Chris Tregarthen, who really stepped up last year and was just phenomenal out there. So whoever plays Cal State Long Beach is going to have to shut those two guys down. They also had Brendan Mason
last year.
They don't have many more. But that was what was really effective. In case you're just tuning in, you haven't seen paintball before, man, paintball is about attacking. It's about taking ground. It's about winning gunfights. It's about exerting your will on the other team. And that's what Cal State Long Beach did last year. But they really only did it with two strong players. They had the rest of the team very inexperienced. Didn't really have a lot of strong guys past those two guys. But they were able to ride those horses and have Mason and Tregarthen really step up. And they almost got to the finals because of the strength of those two guys.
You know, and that I think we might see that again because this is such a snake-dominant field. You know, Chris Tregarthen getting out there and getting busy.
Absolutely.
If they don't stop him, they're going to be in some serious trouble because, like we talked about before, that back corner bunker that you hate and I hate.
Yes,
terrible. You can't see anything.
I hate that. That back bunker is rubbish.
Yep. So, I mean, you got to get a strong stakes presence when you go against those teams. You know, Pando, Brooklyn, you know, there's another two strong snake players. So, you know, I guess we're just going to have to see what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Yeah, so coming up at you, here are the 2011 NCPA National Championships. We have the Florida Gators taking on the Kennesaw State Owls. I'm Matty Marshall. I'm up here with Chris Lasoya. The final score of our first match, Northeastern 4, Ohio Bobcats 11. Absolutely dominant performance by Ohio.
Oliver, you're coming up after this game. After this game. And Fish, you're going to do 2 games, and Fish, you're coming up after that, right? No. 3 games.